Hey there, teeth lovers. Welcome to today's show where I'm going to get straight to it, right? There's no fluff today. Well, hopefully there's not normally a fluff, but nonetheless, we're going to be talking about how to prevent MSDs and be proactive by doing micro breaks during our workday. So I'm sure you've all heard this and you're familiar with this, but I'm going to give you my top 4 that I recommend. So stay tuned and let's do it.
Hey there! Welcome to the Lift for Longevity podcast, where our goal is to build our strongest, healthiest body. We all deserve to feel our best, but since we only get one body, we have to make sure to protect it by moving safely and with purpose to prevent pain, injury, and surgery. I'm your host, Brianne, and I'm a fit pro turned business owner and also a girl mom. I'm obsessed with educating and empowering dental pros on how to take care of their body by training efficiently and building the right muscles to prolong their career. I know you're tired of spending time working out but still dealing with annoying aches and pains, getting rid of your pain temporarily only to have it come right back just a few hours later, or feeling like you never have any energy. You wish there was a long-term solution to get rid of your pain for good. Well, I'm here to give you real-life, actionable steps that you can take today to get rid of your pain, say goodbye to quick fixes, and have energy to live a life that you love. So if you're ready to get stronger, enjoy your life outside the operatory, and have longevity in your career, grab yourself a high-protein snack and let's get to it.
So micro breaks. I'm sure you've heard this term. Hopefully you do your due diligence and you practice this and you're proactive. And shout out to my friend Stephanie Botts. If you don't already follow her, she is amazing and she can give you all the tips and tricks with anything ergo. Follow her at Polished Posture on Instagram or, Stephanie Botts on Instagram, Facebook, wherever. Anyways, I want to talk about micro breaks because essentially, it's going to help you in the long run prevent MSDs, right? Obviously, MSDs are a big fear for hygienists. They're very prevalent, especially, in that upper body, in the shoulders, the wrists, the necks, oh my gosh, I cannot talk, shoulders, wrists, neck, forearms. But essentially, what a microbreak is, it's a short, brief interval of time. And it basically is going to help decrease stress, relieve that muscle tension, all that tightness. It's going to help improve the blood flow to those soft tissues and just replenish your energy. So part of what makes hygiene, at such risk for MSDs is that, the demand. You can't really ever work your overworked muscles. They're super fatigued because you're just in these positions. You're doing these repetitive motions. You're doing prolonged seating. And it's just essentially... it's challenging. Obviously, it's very hard on the body, but it's important because the microbreaks is going to allow that oxygen and that blood back into your muscles, which it's healing that micro trauma that is acquired or takes place when you're practicing in those static positions. So essentially, I did another podcast on this. It's about the cumulative injury circle. It goes from tissue trauma to inflammation, to adhesions, to imbalances, muscle imbalances, which is all I talk about, right? And then that leads to an MSD. So go ahead and check that out. But essentially, we have to kind of break that cycle, right? So holding these static, awkward postures for an extended time isometrically it's just contracting your muscles. And they don't get a break, so it's like that intramuscular tension, it's rising, right? It's going up, and that rise in tension, it essentially is preventing blood flow and oxygen to the muscles, which normally, it would repair itself, but, it's not able to do that because, it can't take a break, right, in layman's terms. But so clinicians who treat, a patient every hour, which is probably everybody listening to this podcast, we need to interrupt the stress properly by repositioning, even just standing up, right? Or even just rolling your shoulders back, just something, putting your instrument down or switching to a different hand, whatever you need to do, right? Evidence shows that breaks as short as 30 seconds every hour might reduce the risk of an onset MSD, which is huge. I mean, I know when you're in the zone or in the mode, it sounds like totally a daunting task or just out of sight, out of mind. But think about throughout your day, 30 seconds is nothing, right? And I know, hygienists tend to be so selfless. They literally risk their bodies for their patients, which is why I love you, but it's also your greatest asset and your greatest fault, right? Because it's you can't risk your body for your patients. We're all going to live, right? You can clean our teeth and take care of yourself at the same time. So hopefully I'm allowing just a little bit of that knowledge with you to empower you to do that. So another example is, besides just standing up briefly, is like quickly when you're changing from power to a hand scaling, or when you're like switching arches, or honestly, just even quickly between patients, right? It doesn't have to be this huge ordeal. I know you probably have to go to the bathroom, or maybe you want to shove something in your mouth. I don't know. But just stretching as much as possible throughout the day. Before and after work's great too. But like if you're chairside, walking down the hallway, I've had patients tell me they like lunge down the hallway, or I don't even know what goes on sometimes with my clients, but I love it. Or even like when you're debriefing the doctor, like some people look at you like you're crazy. Like who cares, right? You're doing what's best for you. So essentially, just by adding these little micro breaks, these stretches, is going to encourage healthy blood flow back into your muscles, which will increase cellular healing, reducing your pain and fatigue, and obviously the risk for MSDs. So I want to share with you, and I did not make this up, but it's called the Core 4. I actually got this from the Dimensions of Dental Hygiene magazine, and I think it's great because it's 2 stretches and 2 movements. 4 movements total, a minute a piece, so it shouldn't take more than 5 minutes. But basically, it's going to counteract everything we're doing throughout our day when we're working on our patients, more so in the upper body, right? So the first one is going to be the prayer stretch, right? So I'm sure you've all heard of this, but basically you're going to start with your hands clasped together, well, fingers extended, so hands flat, everything's touching in front of your chest, and keeping your elbows out, you're just going to bring your hands, draw your wrists down. So this is going to help with the flexors of the wrist and fingers. You want to hold this position for 1 minute. And then you'll move on to a forearm stretch, which I'm sure you've all seen this. You're going to just lock your arm out, so extend one arm. Primarily start with like your dominant hand, and then if you have time, obviously do both. But if you are short on time, just do that dominant hand. This is going to help with the extensors of the wrists and forearms. So with that hand extended, you're just going to gently use your opposite arm, and you're going to push down your fingers like right in front of your knuckles there, and you'll feel that in your forearm. So that's the second one. The third one, they refer to this as tracing a door frame. I actually call this a wall slide, but it doesn't matter what the name is. You're going to start with your hands, arms extended up, hands or fingertips touching towards the ceiling, almost like outside your shoulders, so like a door frame, right? And you're going to draw your elbows down. Try and relax the traps when you do this too. You don't want your traps in your ear, so try and relax. This helps counteract like that kyphosis, that like thoracic rounding of rounded shoulders, right? So, and with scapular mobility, obviously. So like if you are able to, you can always squeeze the scapula at the end, but it's just more important to go through that motion instead of holding for a minute. You want to just kind of go through that motion as many repetitions as possible in 1 minute. And then the last one I'm sure you've all heard is a chin tuck, right? And so essentially this is going to help with the cervical spine, right from that forward head posture. So our SCM's overactive, our deep cervical flexors are underactive. So this will counteract that. So again, this isn't something you're going to hold for a minute, but it's basically like you're just keeping that head neutral and you're pushing gently back your chin, like you're going to create a double chin. You can probably hear me doing it as I'm kind of walking you through it. But basically, where was I going with that one? The chin tuck. Oh, we could advance this too. So do as many repetitions and just make sure you're doing it slow and controlled and gentle, right? We never want to rush through anything ever. Always doing all of our movements, whether it's a stretch, strength training, whatever, with purpose and intention. But if you want to beef that up a little bit, you can hinge. So what I mean by that is you're going to shoot your hips back and your chest is going to be slightly facing the ground. And this is more an advanced version because you're doing that chin tuck still, but it's like gravity's pushing you down. So it's almost like your muscles have to work a little bit extra hard. So that is all I have for you today on microbreaks, or even just do like a nice trap stretch. That's a really good one that I like. So you're going to, I don't know, I'm just going to throw this in because why not? So you're going to tilt your ear towards your shoulder and gently pull with one arm, but that opposite arm, you want to make a fist and create tension, and you'll feel that even quite a bit more. So you could do that on both sides. I like that one too. Or even like a chest stretch in the doorway, right? If you don't want to do all core 4, just do like a trap stretch and a chest stretch. Those are cool too. So anyways, I have a lot of resources if you're interested. If you want this copy, like a hard copy, a visual of the core 4, shoot me a DM on Instagram with the word 4 or the number 4, and I'll be sure to send it your way. Otherwise, please make sure you're taking care of yourself and getting in your breaks throughout the day, and let me know what I can do to help. I appreciate you as always. Thanks for tuning in, and I will catch you next week.
Thank you so much for listening in today. I hope you got a takeaway from this episode, and if you did, would you be so kind to share it with another dental pro you think would benefit from it? I know you love learning, and chances are that they do too. Also, I would love to connect with you on Instagram, so go ahead and head over to the Lift for Longevity podcast page, or follow me at Built by Brianne. If you shoot me a message saying hello, I will personally respond because I love chatting with dental pros. Before you go though, I want to let you know that I appreciate you and what you do, and I hope to chat soon. Until next time, stay strong.